All right, everyone, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. We've done a lot of these, talking about a lot of exciting linemen that have coming into the fold this season. And today we've got another one talking about Jaguars rookie tackle Anton Harrison. This guy looks like he's going to be a big-time player for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Had an outstanding preseason game against the Miami Dolphins, showed off a lot of great stuff. And we're going to get into it right now. If you like our content, as always, make sure you hit like and subscribe and put a comment in the comment section below about another player you want us to review, or just give us some feedback. We really appreciate it. But all right, let's get right into it. All right, so we're going to open up today with a standard counter play out of the shotgun, obviously, with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here you see Harrison, of course. He is at right tackle, and we're going to get a nice double team here between Harrison and the right guard, working to the backside linebacker. The center is going to block back on this 2-eye technique. I call him a 2-eye because he's on the inside shade of the left guard there. The left guard is going to pull and kick out the defensive end right here. The tight end is going to work really hard here for this linebacker. You don't see him. He's off to the side, but we got a wide receiver that's going to fill and get this box safety here. The left tackle is going to do what I call an anchor down technique. He's going to take one step to the inside to check to make sure there's no penetration to the B gap, and then work out to this defensive end to secure the backside. And Etienne here is just going to follow that seam right in there. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, so right here you see the double team action inside. Look at that incredible movement and punch right there from the rookie right tackle. Let's back that up. That's really good stuff. So this double team here, it has to get buried down either vertically or horizontally, ideally a little bit of both, but you have got to give your guard a lot of help here to create some movement out of this B gap, because that's exactly the track Etienne is following. Watch how he does. Boom, buried inside. Perfect. Watch his next step up. Right up to the linebacker, cuts him off. This is an awesome seal here for the running back. Right, you have the tight end, play side linebacker. You've got the receiver inserting for the box safety. You've got the guard pulling. Nice contact there. Look at this nice seal. And Etienne hits the hole. Nice run. You'd like a little bit more there. Right there. Out of your tight end. Otherwise, this is potentially a massive play, right? Because if 85 stays on there a little bit longer, this is a huge play. Still a really nice run here. And it all starts right here with this young tackle. Great double team action here. Getting up on the backside linebacker. Boom. Outstanding work.
Yeah, Nick, and I love how good this guy's feet are. He's able to move off this block so smooth and seamlessly and work down to the linebacker. I mean, that's got to be really hard to just this early on be so fluid with the guy that's right next to you, get that block, pick up the linebacker. Isn't that something that's impressive to be able to be done?
Well, it's something that takes a lot of timing and just understanding of the situation, right? And again, like we do with all of these guys, there's some footwork items that could be cleaned up. His first steps not great. See how it's kind of in place, maybe back a little bit actually. But I love that punch, right? I love that just power that he shows through that 3 technique, that defensive tackle right there, dislocates him, gives the guard a lot of space to cover him up and secure that. But again, coming off, that takes timing, right? You have to understand you don't want to come off too soon, because then the linebacker could potentially undercut you and the defensive tackle could work off the double team. You don't want to cut off too late, then you can't get to the linebacker. He times it absolutely perfectly, right? That is an outstanding job. And that's a guy right here. Again, this is a rookie, 3 preseason games so far in his career, and he's done a great job at this play. All right, let's go back to the running game here. Here, the Jaguars have a design cutback setup. So this is a really nice play. You see a lot of teams run this in the NFL. And the whole goal here is to create a lot of motion in one direction. You're going to see this up front from the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're going to get all the offensive line working this direction, working to the right. Again, that direction. They want to create a lot of flow going to the right. You're going to have Ingram arc release here. Again, the goal is to get a lot of movement from the defense that direction, and you're going to get this tight end offset here. He's going to do a kick out block, on this defensive end over here. And the goal is for Bigsby to work this way and then to cut back. Again, the goal is everyone moving to the right. The defense will move to the right as well. And Bigsby, the running back, will be able to cut back and get a nice big play behind that kick out block here from the tight end. Let's see how it works out. Again, you see the movement, everybody moving to the right. You see the kick out block coming, but 51 from Miami, really smart, savvy play. He sees it coming. He scoots back outside. So Bigsby has to duck it up inside and try and get what he can. And when that happens, you need your guys, again, even though it's a design cutback, you need your offensive linemen, like the young rookie here, to get movement. You need to get some movement against these defensive linemen to give your running back a chance to pick up something positive. Look what Harrison does. Get some help from the guard, drives him 5 yards off the ball. Again, technically not perfect. His feet get a little close together, a little high, not a great situation there. It's all kind of a bundled mess in terms of the feet of everybody. But again, great athlete, shows great effort, stays with them, keeps driving, keeps pushing. Again, 5 yards of movement. You see where the ball starts, right around the 5-yard denominator. Look where the defensive end ends up. About 5 yards back, 4.5 yards back. That's a winning job from the tackle. If everyone inside got that level of movement, even if Bigsby has to cut it up in this situation like he did, it still has a chance to be a really good play. Interior, they don't get that from some of these other guys. It ends up being about a 2-yard run. But from Harrison's perspective, this is a really nice job.
Yeah, Nick, and some of the criticisms on Harrison early on in the draft process are that he's not a people mover. He wasn't a forklift in the run game. And this seems to be kind of contrary to that point. The last 3 plays, rather, in the run game, he seemed to be doing pretty admirably so far. So I think this is something they may have overblown a little bit, but don't you think this guy looks pretty good in the run game so far?
One of my opinions about run blocking is it's about effort and want to. Right. Pass blocking, in my opinion, is much more technical. For me, that was one of my issues, is to get the technique down in pass protection. But run block, something I thought I was pretty good at in a lot of situations, is about effort and energy and drive. And that's exactly what you see here. Again, technically, from a technician's perspective, that's not very good. Offensive line coaches probably won't like that. But again, the effort, the intensity, the drive, the willingness to be physical and move people is definitely there. And it's good enough to get the job done. That's what I like about this rookie. Even though there are some technical flaws, he's got the football skills, the talent, and the energy to execute. All right, sticking with the run game, we're going to have Harrison again on the backside. We're going to see a zone to the left. So again, you're going to get action out this way from everybody, work in that direction. And the running back is just going to try and read it and find a hole to cut up into wherever he can. Now, in this situation, looking at how the defense is currently set up, you would assume Harrison here would try to work to reach this 3 technique, on the outside shoulder of the right guard. The guard will have to work up to the linebacker here, and you see the group here. Now, one thing that has to happen in a zone scheme is that if the defense stunts, for example, if they change gaps, whether it's that direction or that direction, you need to recognize it and react quickly. That's a big theme I talk about in offensive line play. Recognize what the defense does in front of you, and in the context of your assignment, work up to the next level. So if this defensive lineman, let's say he works to the left, that direction, he stunts here, Harrison's got to see that and then work up to get a linebacker. Let's see how he does. Again, right there, you see defensive tackle, the 3 technique, slanted inside. Look what Harrison does. Recognizes it, right up to the linebacker. That's a really nice recognize and react situation there. Now, look, it's one of those things that's tough. Which linebacker do you pick? Right? It's a zone run to the left. Here, if you're Harrison, you're always kind of thinking backside in that situation. So I understand why he looks backside. In a perfect world, maybe he sees 55 and gets a piece of him. But he gives his running back a chance, right? Because obviously they couldn't block both of them. He gets one of them. Running back has a chance to duck it up in there. It was a 3rd and short situation. Etienne lowers his shoulder and gets the first down. Again, recognizing and reacting. If he just stays on the 3 technique, even though or tries to stay on him, even though he works inside, 55 and 51 are right here at the point of attack. Etienne gets blown up. They don't get the first down. I talk about it all the time with offensive linemen. Recognize what's going on. My guy that was in my gap, I should say, slanted away, stay in my gap, work up to the next level. He does, gives this guy a chance. Recognizing and reacting, that's what he does there. Great job by Harrison.
Yeah, Nick, I think that would be a really tough move to pick up 55. It's kind of an awkward angle for a big man like that to cut up. And like you said, 51's in his vision, and at the end of the day, the running back didn't have much of a chance because he can't block 2 people at one time from Harrison's perspective. But I think this just shows this guy, he's looking good. He has the effort in the run game. He's looking like, a really good addition to this team. And one note is these are all of the Jaguars starting offensive linemen. They look really cohesive as a unit. I like how they're all working together. Don't you think that this shows like this is a really solid unit for the Jaguars going forward?
I'm really impressed because this is a veteran group for the most part, with the exception of Harrison. I'm really impressed, and you kind of alluded to it, how he's able to work with these veterans and execute at the same level. They definitely have worked on their communication because that's something you definitely drill in and practice in that situation right there. He sees the color go away. He works up to the backside linebacker. At this point, it almost looks like it's, just he doesn't have to think about it. He's just reacting. And that's good stuff from a rookie. But again, you get that when you have a veteran group up front. All right, Doug Peterson deserves a lot of credit for creating probably the funnest plays I've ever seen up front from an offensive line perspective. This is a really fun design, really cool stuff, but it's a really smart way to cross up an athletic defense that's flying around here. A lot of stuff going on. You've got a sort of inside trap here going on here. You've got the left guard pulling to kick him out. You've got the right guard pulling to kick the defensive end out. You got Harrison working up. He's got to cut off the linebacker. You've got the center releasing here up to the play side linebacker. You've got the tackle working to kick him out, and you've got the tight end pulling here. Right? This is one of these plays where it's sort of designed to kind of run right here and this kind of seam here. But I really feel like this is just sort of a play where they're just trying to cross up and confuse the entire defense and let Etienne read it and see where he needs to go. But this is a really great play, really well executed for the most part by the Jaguars. And again, it shows off the athleticism of this young rookie. All right, let's see how this all shakes out. All right, again, you've got the pulling action here between those two linemen. You've got the tight end working down to the defensive tackle. You've got 79 working up to play side linebacker. And of course, you've got Harrison working up to backside. You've got the left tackle working out to the defensive end. A lot of action here. Again, it looks like it's designed to run right in here over in this B gap area over here. That means, and this is what I love about Harrison on this play, his job is to just cut him off, keep the linebacker away from that gap. And it's a pretty simple idea, but a lot of young offensive linemen, they try and square and go toe-to-toe with these guys and let these linebackers have a chance to make this play. Not Harrison. He positions himself in the perfect spot, completely seals off that side. That's a fantastic job. It doesn't look that complicated or that hard, but I can't tell you how many offensive linemen don't do that. They don't take that track. It's all about putting your body in between the defender and the ball carrier. And when you're that big and strong, that's all you need to do, win. That's a great job. Again, I don't see enough young guys do this. Ironically enough, one of the guys who does it really well is Orlando Brown, another Oklahoma tackle, another former Oklahoma product. It just seems so simple. Just doing that simple action there is an outstanding job. I love that savviness and that understanding, that football IQ from the rookie. And again, you can see the hole develop here. Really fun design by Doug Peterson. Again, if they could have blocked it a little bit better, it would have been a better play. But again, great job by Harrison here.
Yeah, Nick, I was glad you were here to explain this one because from a viewer's perspective, this looks like pure chaos on the field with everybody pulling and moving at the same time. But it's like you said, this just shows the football IQ of Harrison, a guy. He knows what his job's supposed to be. He knows what he needs to do. He knows what he doesn't need to do. And I think that's what we've seen throughout this video a lot. He may be not perfect technically, but he does all of the things that he needs to do right, and he doesn't do a lot of the things that could get him into trouble. And I think that's really just been a very good synopsis of Harrison so far in this preseason game. What do you think?
It's one of my core beliefs. You can teach technique. A good offensive line coach can get your footwork a little bit better, can get your pad level a little bit lower, whatever it may be. But you know what you can't teach? Understanding where the play is going and putting your body and hands in the right position. It just is that simple. A lot of guys just can't figure that out. Harrison does. And that will always give you a chance. That's why I really like what I've seen about from this kid so far this preseason. I think he has a chance to be a really good player for a long time for the Jacksonville Jaguars because of it. All right, wrapping it up. Last play of the drive, last play of this video. We always like to show if there's ever a great dominating physical presence. We like to show that. We like to show offensive lineman being an athlete as well. Well, guess what? We've got an example of both in this situation here. I'm going to focus solely on Harrison. He is going to pull and lead the way. He gets out in space. Watch what he does here. I'm just going to let the film speak for itself. Demolish. That's awesome. Again, you look at he has to take a good track. He has to make sure he gets enough depth here just to avoid this defensive end. He's got a crackback block on him here from a wide receiver. He's got to make sure he doesn't hit him, get caught in that mesh. He doesn't. He takes good depth. Great athlete, great stride, and delivers that. This is literally how you draw it up from an execution perspective. That demolishing right there expands the hole. The only downside here is Bigsby fumbles literally at the half-yard line. But I tell you what, from a blocking perspective, especially from Harrison, outstanding. I could watch this all day. Great track, good, gets up there and delivers the knockout. That's awesome. Phenomenal stuff from the rookie there.
Yeah, Nick, I think someone needs to call that poor corner or safety, whoever it was, family, because I don't think he's going to get up after that one. When you got a big man like that, 320 pounds, running that 4.9 40 at you, he just lays the wood. Like we said, we love to see people get driven into the dirt, and that's exactly what happened. That guy's going to think twice when he's going to come and try to pull a block on that play. Don't you think, Nick?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's one of those things where they, especially in the red zone, that's why there's some corners and safeties who, leave the game in red zone situations just because they can't handle this. You cannot handle this. I mean, this is just awesome stuff. And this is, again, it's a lot harder than it looks. You're running full speed. You're trying to avoid that mesh. And then you very quickly have to react. Because remember, when he's back in his stance here, he doesn't, number 4, I believe that's the corner's number, is out here to the right. He doesn't have a good look on him, right? Because obviously defensive ends in between. He doesn't want to give away what he's doing. He kind of has to estimate where he's going to be, take a good track, avoid that garbage there, take a good track, pick him up immediately, and then deliver a punch. And he does, and knocks him out. Perfect timing, perfect kick out. I mean, this is just phenomenal stuff. Beautiful job by the rookie. And again, we've seen this all tape. He has incredible athleticism. His ability to recognize and react to what the defense is doing is phenomenal for such a young player. And he's got the physical demeanor and the effort to get it done at a high level. This guy is a future star for the Jacksonville Jaguars.